Hello everybody, my name is Evan the Jester, and today I'm just going to be talking about my personal load order. Of course I'm not going to be going over every single mod I have installed because that would take forever, so we're just going to go ahead and talk about the ones that I enjoy the most and the ones that you see me using the most. Alright, so let's get right into it because I hate long intros. The first one is called Brown White Run, and this is a mod that I've talked about multiple times before. But I just like Brown White Run a lot because it makes it look a lot more realistic. There's no really bright, vibrant colors. It looks really mundane and really like dull. And that's kind of how the medieval setting is supposed to look because it's all like thatch and stone and just normal wood. There wasn't really much to it when it comes to decoration. And it just makes everything look a lot more medieval, and that's kind of the look I always go for, is the medieval one. Even in other games I really do love the medieval look. It's just kind of like badass looking, it's peaceful, it's just something that I really like personally. Not only does it change the buildings, it also changes the ground and it changes the like little decorations to make them less vibrant and alive, which kind of is the point. It's kind of supposed to dull things down a bit, and it makes it look a lot more realistic. And the thing I love about this mod the most is the fact that making the buildings and the roads and the stone and the decorations like a lot more dull and a lot more brown, it makes the wildlife, like the trees and the plants, stick out a lot more. The next mod is called Fortified White Run, and this mod is going to reinforce the wall and basically the entire outdoors of White Run, like all the outskirts, making the wall a lot bigger and a lot more fortified, adding a couple more guards as well, and just making it look like a proper city, not this like broken down small wall right here that people could probably just grab like a rope and climb over. This is going to give you a huge wall on White Run. I don't really have any other mods installed for any other cities, but I do recommend the JK's interiors and JK's cities and all his overhauls being like the best ones in my opinion for cities, so definitely give his mods a shot as well. Next mod I have installed for my personal load order is Civil War Border Camps, and Civil War Border Camps is going to put little camps filled with guards or soldiers depending on what side you've chosen in the Civil War, and actually put a giant barrier here, and this is just going to stop Stormcloaks from crossing Imperial holds and Imperials from crossing Stormcloak holds. It's just going to make it look a lot cooler as well because of how closed off this really is. Another good one is Civil War Refugees, which is something that I use occasionally when I'm not really trying to look for the battle-ridden kind of look, because Civil War Refugees gives off the true nature of what a civil war looks like. Next mod I like to use is Julie Ha's Dirt Replacer, probably one of my favorite mods ever because it makes the ground look so much more realistic, and it just doesn't even look like it belongs on PS4. It merges in perfectly with the ground, it merges in perfectly with grass and plants, it adds grass and plants, and it just completely overhauls the entire ground all over Skyrim, making it look a lot more realistic. The mod I use for my sky is called Heart of Azeroth, and what this mod is going to do is it's going to give off the most beautiful sights you've ever seen. You'll see a lot more solar eclipses, you'll see a lot more sunsets, you'll see a lot more visuals such as this. The shading is done well, and it just makes the land look so like clean, and it looks really nice. It like reflects off of some things that make it look really good. Mixing this with Julie Ha's Dirt Replacer, as you can see right around here and here, you can see how the land is like kind of like glowing almost, and that to me just looks great. So it's a Heart of Azeroth with its many weathers and its many skies. It just looks great. Here's another example of Heart of Azeroth. It's a really amazing mod, and it just makes it look so great. And not to mention, this also changes with whatever climate you're in. So if you're closer towards Windhelm, and the colder areas, you'll see a lot more colors like blue, green, and purple. If you're in Solitude, you'll see it be a lot sunnier, and if you're somewhere in Whiterun like I am right now, it'll be like a mix of purple and blue. And this is just like a great overall look, and honestly, like, it's not too dark, it's not too bright, it's just perfect, and it just looks great. For my combat system, I have Valvran, maximum kill chance, and smarter combat AI. Maximum kill chance is going to give you a maximum chance of getting a kill move when you're in battle. Valvran is a combat overhaul that's going to make it sort of similar to Dark Souls as seen in the description, where NPCs will fight a lot more technical, like, you know, using things like when someone's putting their guard up, an NPC will get more aggressive, whereas if a NPC is closer to death, will start playing more defensive. And then Smarter Combat AI has that little flair where they'll just do something completely random and just do something absolutely crazy. Like, I've seen Cicero get really close to death and then he just flies out of control and starts swinging completely random, like just not even holding back at all, just making a one last desperate attempt. And I haven't seen that with any other combat mod. Just so mixing these two is really a good idea if you really want to see some like specialized combat. At least in my opinion, like, this is just like a really good mix. But if you do have other options, and there are a lot of good other options as well, definitely let me know. For my followers, I have MFS, multiple follower system, and I also have two mods called I Am Your Fan. And the other one doesn't actually have a name. It's actually a copy of the last one, but it's in Japanese. So if you have a Japanese keyboard or you actually speak Japanese, you can actually just look that up and you can have the second one as well. But I love these two guys. They are like my comedy. They are literally like my comedic relief. These guys are just absolutely hilarious for no reason whatsoever. For anybody who's been watching me for a while, they know that I have about 17 followers total. So I have 17 followers total, and this is because of the mod known as multiple follower system. And the way you use multiple follower system is that you simply equip it and then you follow the directions says on the description of how to activate it. Once you do that, you will be given 5 slots for a follower, and this is not including the first one. So you'll get the first one and you'll get 5 more, so that makes 6. You can then go to the mines up in Markarth and talk to an Argonian called Watches the Followers and gain a couple spell tombs to summon them and stop them from fighting each other. But you could also buy more follower slots, which is 5 more. So then you now have around 11 followers. And then you do the glitch at the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary, you get 14 followers, and then you summon Lucian the Chance, that's 15 followers, and then you give these two guys a chance, and you get these two guys, and that is 17 followers. You can also have a lot of animals, but personally I just see them as getting in the way and constantly dying, so I don't really bother. But I would recommend getting an armored troll if you want just one more decent sized follower following you around. For my NPCs, I have NPC personalities, no dialogue pause, and dialogue bug fixes. I've reviewed all of these mods before, but I think that they are all top tier mods just because of what they do. NPC personalities is going to make the NPCs look more lively in the face, making them blink every now and then, like actually blink normally, using their lips to move to certain letters, like their eyebrows will move. And something that I really like is the fact that when there is an enemy, their eyes will actually dart towards it and they'll look at the enemy first and assess that first before they spring into action. They won't just be looking at you and then all of a sudden just like walk away while still looking at you. They'll actually use their eyes and look at the danger before they take off. And that is something that I noticed purely because I was making a video just like this with Cicero standing in front of me, and he just saw something and his eyes darted in that direction. which is an amazing little feature that they added. So that is one of my favorite NPC mods. No dialogue pauses is just as simple as it sounds. It just removes the dialogue pause, making conversations with NPCs sound more real. Dialogue bug fixes gets rid of all like the garbage like stuff and makes them talk more appropriately towards the situation. So if you kill somebody, a guard will actually come up and ask you. They won't just stare at the body, stare at you, and say, "What is it? Dragons?" This is another one that also helps remove dialogue pauses, and even though that there are a few, there are some instances where they will, you know, talk as wonky as they do. I just reduce it down to stuttering now, because like both of these mods combined have completely almost eradicated the fact that they do this, but it still happens every now and then, and I personally don't mind. But that is another thing that it does as well. My encounter mods are very simple and they're actually very limited. I only have World Encounters Overhaul, and I have Immersive Patrols as well. Having both these mods installed will actually work really well hand in hand. Immersive Patrols will just increase the possibility of a Civil War patrol unit spawning, whereas World Encounters Overhaul will just make them spawn. So you'll just be getting a lot of different types of patrols, such as companion patrols, Dawn Guard patrols, and just random encounters like this. There is also encounter zones redone, and this will make it so certain animals will not be able to chase you through certain buildings, and certain people won't be able to chase you through certain areas. What I'm saying is that animals and people of certain groups will not go past a certain point, because it doesn't make sense if they do. It's as simple as that. My favorite dud mods are No Radio Blur, Bard Sings Anywhere, Better Bard Music, Lurbuck the Follower, and Wearable Elder Scroll. No Radio Blur is just going to make it so that when you get hit, there's no blur there. Really simple. Bard Sings Anywhere is actually my favorite mod of all time. It makes it so Bard followers, so basically just Sven, unless you have a mod, will sing anywhere. Like, you could tell him to sing, and you could tell him to play an instrument, and you could either have him on repeats, or you could just tell him to stop. Better Bard Music is going to make it so the Bard music is a lot more loud and clear, and while Bards are playing music, other variables will be deafened, such as wind, footsteps, people talking in the background. This way you could actually hear the music better. The next mod that I have installed is called Realistic Impacts, and what this mod is going to do is it's going to make it so big animals actually throw people. Like if you hit them with their legs or they hit you with their wings, there you go. Mammoths, dragons, giants, anything that is really big, it's going to send you flying if they hit you. Alright, so now that I got all my actual game mods out of the way, how do you make them all work? You have to simply put them in the right place in the load order, but there is another thing to it. Can you not? So not only do you have to put them in the correct place in the load order, it's also important that you actually download mods that prevent glitches, lag, bugs, and all of those nasty things. My personal favorite mod for this is TLS Crash Preventer, which is a mod that removes footsteps. Footsteps is a huge cause of crashing on all platforms. So if you can actually find a mod that removes footsteps from your game, whether you're on PC, Xbox, PS4, PS5, whatever, get that mod immediately. It will definitely make your game run a lot smoother, and it'll make it crash less, especially when entering cities, towns, and all these other places with a lot of NPCs. Skyrim FPS Overdrive is another really good one that I like, because it removes all the unnecessary stuff that's under the ground and things you just can't see, such as bushes sticking out from under walls, or just things that are just not really noticeable, like small pebbles alongside like a city wall, or just grass that you can't see. It just removes all that stuff, especially in major cities. And then I have a bunch of removers, such as No Falling Leaves, Smooth Water Rapids, Disable God Rays, Insignificant Object Remover, and Imperial Agent's Bloom Remover. Now, I've talked about these kind of things before. I talked about it in my Preventing Crashing video. If you're a PS4 player and you're having trouble with mods, I definitely recommend you check that out. These mods that I'm talking about right now are going to keep it clean, keep it safe, and make sure that your game runs perfectly smoothly. And I mean, I'm like literally living proof of it, because I have 17 people following me at all times, and I rarely ever crash. So like, and I actually, as a matter of fact, I rarely ever lag. I could probably throw all of these guys off a high Hrothgar, and not a single FPS drop would drop. So there's that. My personal favorite mod that I use sometimes for thumbnails, if I can't actually get any from Google, is a mod called Anna's Photo Mode Skyrim. And what this mod is going to do is it's going to allow you to change the weather, change the pictures, change like the animations that people are using, and make a photo of it. Really simple, really awesome. And there you go. You officially know that. Oh, what is that? What is going on over there? Oh, some necromancers. And that right there, my friends, is my personal load order. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys actually like my load order, because it's a good one. I really do enjoy it. I think it's so much fun. It's really good to look at. It's just really nice. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out, yo.